Hello, and you're all very welcome to this Along the Line special where this weekend the Tipperary Ladies Football Specsavers Under-16 Championships take centre stage, where we're down to the county final stages and we have a festival of football to look forward to, and we're going to be getting the views. Paul Stapleton, Under-16 manager, is with us, and Pat Morrissey, his coach and selector. So we're going to be previewing the games, and we'll also be talking to the backroom teams from each club. So we'll get down to Pat. Some festival of football to look forward to this weekend.
Absolutely. You're going like kind of right from the A to the D. Absolutely magnificent. We've seen the semi-finals. You've streamed quite a few of them yourself, and what's to say only that all games, they look like they're all going to be very competitive. It's going to be so hard to see. There's no definite winner among any of them, but by God, I'll tell you one thing, it's going to be a feast of football.
Yeah, Paul, we've seen a lot of the semi-finals. We obviously covered the A and B semi-finals and 4 tight games, and I think the winning margin, it was 5 or 6 points, mile overs and mile 10 to but all the rest of them were a point. So
yeah, as Pat said, I know you streamed the matches, but anybody that was in attendance at those matches, it was a festival of football. The skills that were on show that day, between the 4, 5, 16s, whatever it was, there was only a point or two in between it. Games went down to the last couple of minutes. It was a score here, a score there. But for anybody that was in attendance watching them or watching at home, it was just a pleasure to watch. So it was. And I'm really looking forward to these finals.
Yeah, just taking a look at the games that we will be covering and all the games that are on. We start at 1 o'clock on Saturday afternoon. Sean Tracy Park, Moycarkey Burris and Boherland Dwella are in the A final. And then staying in Sean Tracy Park at 3 p.m. St. Pat's and Arlo are in the C plate. We'll also be showing that game live. At 4 p.m, Rockwell Rovers and Federer playing the D plate in Donetsk. We'll be bringing you live updates from that game. And then at 5:30 in the A plate, with Tipperary and Holy Cross Ballycahan. Moving on to Sunday, we kick it off at 12:30 in the Win with the B final, Mile Rovers and Galtee. That game will be shown live. And B plate, Kappa White versus Care or Commercials is on at 2 p.m. in Littleton. We'll be giving you live updates from there. And the D final, Golden and Clarehan, will be at 3 o'clock. And then the C final, wrap it all up, Mullinahone and SARS playing at 4 in Littleton. And we'll also be bringing you that game live. So, as you said, there's a festival of football to look ahead to. And Pat, looking at Golden, a new club, only formed 3 years ago, playing in the final, that's a huge thing for them.
Absolutely massive. Like I spoke to even Peter earlier there today, and he was just saying that they've attracted so many numbers. Right now on the Under-16, he has got up to 26 players available to him. He's so happy with how things have gone. They did a tough semi-final. They're just beating Rockville by, I think it's just a bare minimum of a point. Overall, he said there's strength from 1 to 26. And to even on the final day, he's really looking forward to it. He believes the club is right up to it. The girls in great form, and he's absolutely looking forward to that final.
Yeah, and Clare and Paul, another small club. It's great to see teams like that competing in finals.
Well, Clare have a club for the last couple of years they've been struggling to get players. They've been losing players. They're starting to build again. For Clare, in my opinion, now this is a bigger game than probably for Golden. Golden are established there now as a team, and they're building as well. But Clare have a team they've lost players and they're trying to rebuild. So Clare in this game really need to get out and prove a point that they're still there, they're still competing, and they still want to get to the top. They're playing in the D final, but Clare are a club that would like to get up and up to C, up to B, up to A. So this is the time where they start.
Yeah, just looking at as Pat, you said, Gordon beating Rockwell in the semi-final, bare minimum, 7 to 3-3. It just goes to show there's nothing really between clubs in each grade. And that's what we'll be.
Absolutely.
That's what we'll be looking at. So, the D plate is Rockwell Rovers and Federer. We spoke to the lads there as well ahead of this game, and this is what they had to say. Feathered, what's the mood like going into this final?
Sure, Tomás, it was great for us to have a second team for a start, and to get into the final is where any team wants to be. So the girls are looking forward to it, Tomás. Yeah, and I suppose your second team, it's made up of a lot of under 14, so this experience of playing under 16 is going to help him going forward. To be great from Tomás is there would be a lot of the majority of our team would be under 14, and it's great for him to get to play at the next age group up. Probably for some of the girls, maybe might be getting too many matches at times between camogie and football, but having said that, they'll still be looking forward to their opportunity to play in the county final there next Saturday. Yeah, because regardless, play at cups, they all lead to success down the line, and it'll bring them on. For every team you feel, there's that, regardless of the level you're playing at, every team wants to get to finals, and when you get to final, you like to win them. It's great to be able to field two teams for a start, but we'll be under no illusions. Like Rockwell will be a very strong team. Like there's our first team, they've county players playing with them, so we'll be up against it. But having said that, we'll give it a go on today anyway and see how things go. Yeah, because some of these would have been probably part of your first panel, and would they find it hard to pick up after the heartbreaking semi-final loss? It was disappointing. 1 point loss is the worst loss of them all, Tomás, but sure, nothing you can do, only go on again and give it a go again and see how we get on. Like, there's nothing to be got for feeling sorry for yourself. There's lots of things get hit by 1 point, and for what you do when you go again, Tom. Yeah, well, we wish you the best of luck, and we'll be talking to you after the game. Thanks, Tomás. Colin, how are you getting on?
Not too bad.
Small club, newly club, playing in the final, huge thing for the parish.
Absolutely, you know, it's great for the girls to play in finals. It gives them something to aim for every year. Like with this particular bunch, as I say, they're the oldest bunch we have in the club at the moment, and they are young. We only have a couple of under 16s, a lot of under 14s. So to make a final from them is great, and it's great experience for them as well. Yeah, because obviously I think Feather are a fairly young team as well, but yes.
The experience of playing in this, it'll help them and it'll drive them forward.
Absolutely, and it gives them, you know, the more games they get, the better. And playing at a competitive level when they're in the final, there's a little bit of pressure on them, but they're enjoying it as well, and they know what it's like. For younger girls that get into under 16, they might have another year or two on it. You know, that'll develop them massively as they go forward as well.
Yeah, like finals they're obviously there to be won, but the experience there, and regardless of the result, it will help them going forward.
Absolutely. I mean, I were always saying to them, you know, winning is great, but it's about the process as well. You need to lose a few games. You kind of learn a lot from losing as well, and what you can do the next time. And when you get into the next final, you're maybe less nervous because you get exposed to it. So the exposure to those kind of events is fantastic. I mean, that all the girls can get that exposure, and you know, all the girls are getting games, which is the main thing for them, really.
Yeah, and looking at the game, like you were saying, the exposure that they'll get, they're obviously enjoying their football, and I suppose under 16s, it's from under 16s is where you have to try and keep them involved in the game then. So
absolutely,
if they're enjoying it, they're going to stay playing.
That's it. I mean, results at some stage will keep a certain amount playing, but it's not all about results for most of them. It is about enjoying it. They're getting game time. At 16, there's probably a lot of other things starting to come into it. Girls are getting towards the exams. There's other complications coming into it. So maybe, and it probably has been said, there's a lot of drop-off at 16s. But we're lucky that a lot of the ones that have got as far as here, they all seem to be happy. And you don't see any signs of them dropping out. If they're getting games and they're with their friends and they're learning something from it, I mean, that's an achievement. For us, if we can get to under 18, under 19, that's what it's all about, and keeping those numbers coming. Because every girl will develop at a different stage as well. They may be the best at 12, or they might be the weakest at 12, but by 16 they can be completely different. So, and the enjoyment and happiness that they get in that. Look, if they leave, we often say to them, if you're beaten in a game, it's okay to be sad, but like, it means there's always next year, you know, and that means that you're interested in you, and you're enjoying the game as well, that you're getting involved in it. And they're with their friends, and that's the main thing. They're like a parish or a community, you're like a big family, and that's what it's all about, really.
Yeah, because there's huge life lessons to be learned by taking part in these games as well. You probably don't realise it at the time, but later on in life, I suppose, when you get to your age or my age, you realise what special times these are.
They are, and it's great. As I said to him, like, I probably could have played my whole career and you might get one county final, but also it's about you're meeting loads of people, you're meeting different girls, you're making so many different friends outside of your club as well as inside the club, and that experience of knowing that in life you're going to win some things, you lose some things. So like my own daughter plays on it, and the main reason you'd want them in it is to be involved with their friends, to learn about different things. That, you know, football is kind of a microcosm of life, really. Sometimes you win, you might train really hard and you think everything is going to go your way, and on the day it doesn't go your way at all, but you learn a lot from that as well, and they pick themselves up and keep going. And the spirit that they show, like, they would be really proud of the girls. A lot of times sometimes they lose games, or they're on the downer, and they lift their game and they really try, and that's all you can ask.
Yeah, you'd often see daddies on the sideline and that. No, they tend to be hardest on their own.
Absolutely, yeah.
How's your own daughter?
Well, she's not too bad now, I suppose. If she was here, she might say a completely different thing. She probably says I put her under a lot of pressure, but you probably do feel that you have to, you know, that she has to be the shining example of that. If she's not doing it right, how can the other girls be doing it right? But you have to understand as well, they're all out there doing their best. None of them go out to make mistakes. And they say making mistakes is okay. It probably means you're trying something that maybe you're not so good at, but you're trying it, and that's okay. I mean, you like to see girls at times making mistakes, because that means they're not scared of trying something new, and they're learning more by going out there, making mistakes, saying, I want to get on the ball, I want to try and do this. And so what if it doesn't work? I mean, you're never going to learn it if you don't try it.
Yeah.
So,
well, Colin, wish you the best of luck.
Thanks very much.
Hope to be talking to you again soon, and by the sounds of it, you'll be very successful club building. So wish you the best of luck with that all in the future.
Thank you very much. Thanks a lot.
Hi girls, Marie Crowe here from RT Sport. I just want to wish you all the very best of luck in your county finals. I think it's an amazing achievement to even get to a county final stage, but I'm sure that now that you're there, that you'll want to go on and win it, and I hope that you do. So look, just do your best, listen to your coaches and give everything, because it really would be brilliant to get over the line. So best of luck to everybody, enjoy it, and I'm looking forward to seeing how it goes.
So that's the views from Rockwell and Fethard. Once again, it's Rockwell, Paul, this under-16 team, and it's actually their club is going up as far as the under-16, so they'll be looking to build on this, and they're looking at going forward for 19s and under-21 and junior over the next couple of years.
Yes, well, this Rockwell is another club that it's building. A lot of these clubs are building and building and building, and Rockwell are another team that this will be their under-16 team, as you said, and I think they have another 14 team as well, but they're building for number 19, and that's what all these clubs at this level have to do. They have to build and build and build, and this is a stepping stone for a lot of these clubs at under-16 level. Next year they'll be again for under-17 or under-19. It's all about building for these small clubs, and Rockwell is another club. They have a good management over them there. I know one or two of them. I know this team it's drilled well, so that this will be another competitive game against Fethard. Fethard are an established senior club for many a year now, and they've a good group of girls there. But again, as I said about the Clarehan game, Golden, this is the game Rockwell really need to step up to the plate and try and go forward as from here on in.
Yeah, and Pat, Fethard, a lot of these players, their second team, under 14, so playing up at an under-16 level, it's bringing them on for the future. Like this will be a lot of these will be involved in their first team in 2 years' time.
Absolutely. As we've seen over the years, like kind of, I know Hammer's been a massive driving force behind the club. You can see what they're about, and Fethard are one of the lucky clubs in one way to have such a lot of numbers that they have a second team. Absolutely, but this is down to the hard work they're doing. Like, he sees like the future along with many of the other coaches, some great people in there to build up these. And even like I saw even there today, Sarah Smith, a fine keeper. She's the captain of the team, a fine keeper, good young girl. My God, like this is down to be a cracking game again, as Paul said. Like Rockwell and Fethard second team. I'll tell you one thing: you could go anyway. Go anyway, Thomas.
Yeah, just looking at the two finals now. I suppose the cup final, Golden and Clarehan, We'll get a prediction off you for it. So I'll start with you, Paul.
I'll go Clarehan.
I'm on Claren as well. I know it's kind of been too predictable, but yes, I think Claren can do it.
Yeah, looking at the play final with Pat, Rockwell and Feather.
I'm going to give it to Rockwell Rovers. I actually, like, as Paul had kind of edged earlier, they're saying like they're an upcoming club, massive work being done up there. I'm going to give them the nod over a young Feather side.
Paul?
Yeah, I'm the same as Pat. It might be the only time we actually agree on things today, but I think I'll go Rockwood as well. They're just an up and coming team. I think they might be a little bit more hungry for it. Not counting out Feathered as we've seen in a lot of matches this year, but I'll agree with Pat on this one. It might be the only one, but.
No, so that's the D competitions wrapped up, and it looks like the boys are agreeing with Clarehan and Rockwell to take the honours in the D competitions.
Mark Maloney, Clarehan, how are you feeling ahead of this game?
There's going to be nothing in it. It's the D grade, and we met already last July, and there was 1 point in the game. And whether about the result is going to be an entertaining game. 2 different styles of football. Clarehan tend, they have a few designated runners to carry the ball up the pitch, whereas Golden Kilfeacle, they'll pass the ball, they'll go from possibly a short kick out, and before you know it, 4 or 5 short passes and they're in the scoring zone. So two differing styles, but at the end of the day, there's never anything between them.
Yeah, 2 small clubs as well, so get to a final, it's a huge thing for the parish.
Yeah, absolutely huge. There's a buzz around. I know from talking to Declan Donnelly and that there's a huge buzz in Golden Kilfeacle as well. So, I mean, it's great to be at the very last game of the year, you know, to make it this far. So, a win will be a bonus, obviously, and nice, but...
Yeah, because, like, everybody at the start of the year, county final is their aim, and obviously, come county final day, there's only 2 left standing, and you're one of the lucky 2.
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, and we're relishing it already and absolutely looking forward to the game. You know, as I said to you there was only a point in it in July when we met. And I'd say it will be one of the better games of the weekend. One of the closer ones anyway, we hope.
And how are the girls? Are they embracing it? Are they excited? Are they nervous?
Oh, they're excited about it. And we had a full complement of training last Wednesday night. And we have them all on warning for COVID and everything. We don't want anything like that, dare I say it. So we have them all on extra warnings to be extra careful. And they're embracing the challenge in that. And look, they're happy to be getting to a final regardless. And we'll worry about the result on the day. But they'll be well prepared, you know. Yeah,
finals are there to be enjoyed, but they're also there to be won as well.
Absolutely, yeah. Well, we'll give it our best shot, we hope. And... you know, no doubt Golden Kilfeacle will as well. I mean, you can tell with the game, we saw them in July and I saw them in another game. They're very well coached and well drilled.
Yeah, you know, there's a lot of work going on in Golden. Like, they're only a new club as well. Like,
absolutely, yeah.
To be in a county final, so...
Yeah, and they've a great committee behind them and that. And, you know, I do a bit of work with Declan and that, and they're absolutely dedicated over there.
Yeah, and you're not getting any secrets off them ahead of the game, no?
Absolutely not, no.
You're both keeping the cards close to your chest.
We keep it general when we chat.
Yeah.
We talk about the other teams.
Right. Look, we'll wish you the best of luck and we'll be talking to you very soon.
Well, thank you very much. We look forward to a great game.
Peter Clark, Golden Kilfeacle, what's the mood like ahead of the game?
Well, the mood is exciting. I mean, the girls have really put in an effort from we started training early January. And we're now here and coming into the last week of September, first week of October, you know. We train 2 nights a week. The commitment is there. We had suffered a couple of heavy losses last year and the previous year. So this is the first year where we've progressed as a team and worked as a team going forward and tactically and in fitness and mentality as well, where we've shown that we've fought to the end in every match.
Yeah, like you're still a relatively new club, so getting to a final at any level, and under 16 final, it's a huge achievement for the parish.
Oh, it's a massive achievement for the parish, but it wouldn't be us getting to a county final reflects the support we get from the local community, the local GA club that supports us regarding giving us pitch time and for matches and everything. like that. The commitment from the parents bringing the girls down every Tuesday and Thursday night. Even local sponsorship is huge. Having the small little things, water bottles on the sidelines, oranges, you know, really drives the girls on, that they know the support is there, and that's why we're here. We're here because of the support around the girls and the effort the girls have put in the last year.
Yeah, one thing we've noticed when we've covered Golden at a few different levels during the year, there's always great heart being shown.
Oh, there is, yeah, and the heart and fight in them is unbelievable, and I will say that it's absolutely unbelievable. They will fight, they will give everything 100% all the time. Anything you ask them, whether it's the first 15 or the girls that come off the bench, any match we've won, we've used our bench in every single match. It doesn't take 15, it'll get you to start the match, but you will never finish with that 15. You need the full panel to get over the line, and every single one of those girls are fighting every week in, week out to get on that panel, to get on that team on a Saturday or Sunday afternoon.
Yeah, and I suppose a county final success, it'll do huge for the building of the club.
Oh, county final success, the achievement is to get here now, and we have to finish the job in a sense. We have to finish the job in a sense, and it's winning it would be an unbelievable achievement, but we have to take it game by game, and now this is our final game, and we have to make sure we bring it on and finish the job.
And I see that's the first sign of you knocking stuff. You won't let anything in your way coming up to a final.
No, we fight.
There, you're going to clear.
We play a certain type of football, and we fight, and that's it. We win every challenge, whether it's on the ball, off the ball, everything. We'll win everything.
Peter, best of luck, and
No
we
problem.
look forward to talking to you after the game.
Thank you. Cheers.
Moving on to the C now, and the C plate is St. Pat's and Aherlow in Sean Tracy Park at 3 o'clock on Saturday. So, Pat, your own club, I know you're involved.
Yes. Look, massive work again has been done there. Like kind of Siobhan Ash is our manager, really, really good. They're a lovely young side. I only got involved with them this age group this year, but Siobhan has been involved with them up all along. Like kind of we have young Quiva Ryan, there's Anne-Marie Ryan, Paula Ryan, Sheila Butler. So we have a good management team behind these, but like the team is really, really well balanced. Claire O'Brien, our captain, fullback, really, really solid. But all over the field, you covered our last game, and look, I think we're well balanced, well prepared at the minute. They're in good form, and we'll train again during the week and look forward to a game against an Aherlow side who's always going to come well to a final. They will also be well prepared, but look, we're looking forward to them. They're in good form, the girls.
Yeah, and you were obviously fairly ruthless in front of goal there the last day now, so you'd be looking for the same sort of ruthlessness. Absolutely. Like kind of Clodagh was excellent the last day. A lot went right. Like, okay, Ballyporeen, to their misfortune, they had some late changes, like kind of through injuries and that. We probably got to run the green, but look, the girls put it together on the day. Some days, you know yourself, you go out and things go well for us. They went well for us on the day. Look forward to like kind of a final. You don't know what it's going to bring, but they actually are in really good form, Tomás, and hopefully they can step up now and take the honours. Yeah, looking at Aherlow could have gone down soft for.
No, Aherlow. I haven't seen an Aherlow club ever to go down soft, but as Pat said, like Pat's had a big win in their semi-final. Aherlow was a little bit more tougher, but I've never seen an Aherlow team to lie down and give away a win. The only thing I'd say about it is St. Pat's had a big win, but maybe a bit of complacency might come into Pat's play. I don't know. Pat will know more than that. But I know they'll have a tough game against Aherlow, and I can't see him getting it as easy this time in a final. So it'll be a tough game, Thomas, but probably St. Pat's.
Well, we won't ask you for a prediction on that one, Pat. We'll let you sit in the fence.
Thank you.
Sheila Butler, St. Pat's, how are you feeling ahead of next weekend?
Well, we're looking forward to it. It's a good opportunity whenever you get into a county final. We have nearly 20 girls on board ready to play the final. So, yeah, we're looking forward to it now.
Yeah, and Aherlow won't be simple.
No, they won't. They're a good team, good skill. yeah, it'll be a bit of a challenge. We had a good game here now against Ballyporeen last week, so that's kind of boosted our confidence a bit. So you're kind of hoping that that'll, you know, give us a bit of a heads up coming into the final. And sure, all you can do is do your best and keep going, work hard.
Yeah, talking to Pat Morrissey there during the week, some of the girls are going around like superstars that were on the telly for their semi-final.
Yes, that's been our first experience.
And they're also going to be shown live for the final. So
yeah, we're very excited now to be with CK Streaming and getting to have our game showed. It's great, and we have our families at home and they're watching, and yeah, it makes it a more community thing, doesn't it? Because everyone gets to watch it. So yeah, the tans will be done and the nails will have to be right.
and no doubt Pat will have the tan done as well before.
Of course, he'll be first up in the queue.
Sure, Pat will be a bit of a TikTok superstar there as well. He must find it very hard to get to the field at times as well.
Well, sure, look, we have good backup, so we can all slot in and out when needed.
Yeah, well, look, we wish you the best of luck, and hopefully Pat makes time to get there as well, that he's not in the middle of making his TikToks.
Well, our girls were good to do it for ourselves, so don't worry. Yeah. We'll be there.
Thanks a million,
Thank you very much.
The C final, now lads, the C final promises to be a cracking game. We did speak to the management. Just before we move on, we'll get the boys' views of what's going to happen.
Trevor Cook, Thurles Sarsfields, how are you feeling?
It's all going well now. Delighted to be in the final this year now with everything that went on the last couple of years there with the COVID and that. All going well at the minute now, so after having a few good games there, results went well, so everything is going well now.
Talking to Liam O'Brien there from Mullinahone, we were just saying that if somebody says Mullinahone and Thurles Sarsfields in a county final, they're thinking that they're playing for Dan Bryan, but it is great for them to be in a football final and a ladies' football final, because usually when you mention Thurles Sarsfields, that's the first thing to think of. But there's huge work going on in Sars. You've a very good committee in that, and selectors and trainers and everything in place there.
That's going very well now. Yeah, last couple of years have been good now. We've gone up senior this year now. It's our first year playing senior football as well. So we need all these youngsters coming through now. There's a good bunch of youngsters coming through. We need them all now in the next couple of years. We're hoping to stay up senior and all that now. So, yeah.
Your numbers are good then as well.
There's good underage now. The field will be full there under 8s, 10s, 12s every night now. There's big numbers underage. Yeah. The 14s are playing the county semi-final tomorrow now, so we'd have a good lot of them girls now for next weekend now. We'll probably 6 or 7 of the 14s will be on our team now as well for next weekend. So
yeah, because just looking at it's county finals are there to be enjoyed and embraced, but they're there to be won as well.
Well, so that's it. It's nice to win, so we'll be going out next Sunday now. Hopefully we'll have everyone fit and ready to go now, and we know Mullinahone, we're after playing them in different age groups now. I think they beat us under 14 2 years ago, that same group, so we know that we'll have to play well on the day now to get over the line now.
Yeah, and there won't be too much between the teams either.
No, we didn't play in the league. That match this year was null and void. There was a mix-up with the dates in our group, so we didn't play them. So this is going to be our first match playing them this year. So
there's no real baggage there from an earlier round-robin game.
No, as I said, the match wasn't played over a mixed date and that, so it'll be on the day now, first time seeing meeting and that, so.
Yeah, and just the match is obviously on in Littleton, 4 o'clock Sunday, and just out the road, so you'd be hoping that plenty of Thurles Sarsfields come. Thurles Sarsfields are great support in no matter what they're playing. If they were playing Tiddlywinks, so I assume no doubt that you'll be calling on plenty of people from Thurles to make their way to Littleton next Sunday.
Littleton's only out the road from Thurles now, so hopefully we'll have big numbers there now to support that team. So hopefully on the day everything will go well now.
Yeah, well, we wish you the best of luck, Trevor, and we'll be talking to you after the game.
Okay, thank you.
Liam O'Brien and Monaghan, how are you feeling ahead of the game?
I suppose we're nervous. We're not used to playing at this level, at county level, but we've a good bunch of girls. They've worked hard all the way up along the line. We've had tough games, and I suppose we've seen improvement in the girls as a team all the way up a line. And look, we're looking forward to the final. We have a tough game against ours. They're a strong team. But look, we'll be there to give it our best on the day, and hopefully the thing comes together first.
Yeah, I suppose if somebody heard Monaghan and Third Sarson playing a county final, they think they're playing for Dan Breen, but this is ladies football, and it just goes to show the work that's been done in both clubs to get the girls to this level.
Yeah, look, it's great. I suppose girls football and was very much the minority in years past, and we're seeing it at our own club. You know, the juniors are going well. The 16s now are in a county final. 14s are playing a semi-final at the weekend. And, you know, we've good numbers turning up to under 12s, under 8s. So, look, hopefully we can build those numbers and build the game for the club going forward in the years, you know.
Yeah, because having somebody at the calibre of Paul Kelly involved with your junior team, it just goes to show, like, there's plenty of people there in Monaghan willing to help out, and it augurs well for the future of the club.
Yeah, we've great community spirit, and the likes of Paul still involved with the club. You know, former All-Ireland medal winner Brian O'Mara involved in the club as well. So, you know, when you've guys like that, it's great. It creates an atmosphere, it creates great knowledge in the club. So hopefully that's something that we'd look to build on in the years ahead. There's a lot of the younger guys now that are playing senior in Thurles today. They're involved in the club as well and coaching younger teams. So it's very much a community effort, and hopefully we'll just drive sport on for the whole parish.
Yeah, because it's been a while since we've heard of Monaghan been in a ladies football final, so success in this now could be huge for the parish, huge for the club.
Yeah, it would, absolutely, yeah. Look, there's momentum in all the grades, and I suppose each grade feeds off another success. And when one grade sees another at a semi-final, it helps them to push on to the next one. And when you do a little bit every 1 year, then the next year builds on that and builds on that. So look, we're optimistic. We have a lot of talent in the club, and it's a case of getting all of that working together. We are a small club, so we have a lot of players jumping on the grades. Our under-16 team this year is made up primarily of under-14s, so they're a very young squad. But look, that's a squad that'll build in the coming years.
Yeah, like as you said, a lot of them made up of under-14s, so this experience is going to be huge for them going forward. Yeah. And if they get a taste of success as well, it'll keep them involved, which at the end of the day is the main thing. It
is. Look, you need a little bit of success to build confidence, and confidence will lead to success hopefully as well in the long run. You know, you don't want to just win a one-off. You want to build, and you want those players going on to the next grade and become the junior players in Mullinahone in the next couple of years. Yeah, and that's what we're aiming for.
Yeah, because looking at all the grades, like, and you have county stars there, and so a lot of these lads, girls will be looking. Lorraine O'Shea was there a couple of years ago, probably unfortunate not to be there at the moment. You never know, we might see her back. Ava O'Shea, like, they're looking up to the kind of these girls. If they can do it, what's to stop the next generation doing it? And like as you said, that these girls are the girls that are coming up going to be junior footballers. I'd say the way that you're going, by the time these girls get to that age, you could be an intermediate or senior club.
Hopefully. Look, they're performing well at the moment. You mentioned Lorraine, she's going very well this year. Ava's back in the squad now from the county setup. She's going well as well. So that's the aim. Hopefully they'll push on and be successful in it. They've been knocking on that door for a little while. There's enough talent in the team if they can pull it off. It's going to take a lot of hard work, and look, they realise that as well. And, you know, some of our younger players are involved with that junior squad as well. Some of our under-16 players in the final are on that junior squad. So that's great for them, and that's bringing them on in the under-16 as well.
Yeah, well, Liam, the future of Monaghan certainly looks bright. Wish you the best of luck in the final, and we'll be talking to you after the game.
Thank you very much.
So that's the view from Monaghan and Thurles Sarsfields. Just as we said to the two boys there, lads, Monaghan Mullinahone and Sars, usually when you hear Mullinahone and Sars, they're fighting out for a county senior hurling final or something, but there's huge work gone into both of these clubs, Pat, over the last few years.
Absolutely. Like, I'll speak about our neighbours, Mullinahone, absolutely tremendous work on in there. Like, and Liam, who's looking after him, Liam O'Brien, Liam is an excellent guy. He's that man has been involved with years. There's great names involved with those over the years. And you even see, like, the success is now coming through, and even their junior team is absolutely flying. But with these under-16s, we played them early on in the championship. They were really good. A really well-drilled side, lovely level of football, well balanced throughout the team. There's no standout, but there's some fine young players, like kind of even his own daughter Aoife is an excellent player. Also, like kind of young Rebecca O'Mara, Brian's daughter, like Rachel, she's really good. So overall, I think we're in for a really good game as well. I think we're in for a good game against Torres Sarces. I think it's going to be a good game, Tomás.
Yeah, and Paul, sure, obviously, Sarah, for your own team, there's huge work on in there. There's a few good lads there with them.
Yeah, Turles, our team, like the under 16 team, as Pat says, there's always good men, good women over each team, and in Turles, they couldn't get any better than Trevor Cook. He's been with the club, I think, since the formation of it. He's always had teams up along, and now he's doing a 16 manager, but with the work that man puts into those girls is just outstanding. If you were to look at it from the outside, I was with him for a couple of years in management or on selector with him, and his commitment is unbelievable. But Turles, as a club, like, they've lost a couple of girls in the last couple of years, good strong girls for under 16, but they have a group of girls coming up now who are the future of the club, even with the under 12s, under 14s that are coming up. But Turles have the Chloe Burns, the Maria Ralphs, the Cueva Stapletons. These are all fantastic players, Thomas. And to see them on the pitch in full flow playing, I know that Turles and Mullinahone are hurling, this, that, whatever, but when it comes to ladies football in these two clubs, you can't get better than, as Pat said, Liam O'Brien and Trevor Cook that's over these teams. So that's going to be an absolute cracking final, Thomas. Cracking.
Yeah, and I suppose just looking at the work that's gone in there, Sars are obviously gone up senior this year, and Mullinahone seem to be flying at all age group. Are these two the teams that could be contending in the future at the top level in Tipperary?
Absolutely, absolutely, lads. You look at their junior team at the minute, like kind of like Paul's involved, Paul Kelly's involved with them there now, and honest to God, they are really, really. You can see these, and they're blended, a good blend of youths with the experienced players, like kind of. But no, they're going right up there. They're going right up there. They're going to be massive contenders for the Junior A title this year, and you can't put it beyond them. Taking that step forward into intermediate, absolutely it lies there. But that's 3 years of hard work. Like it's a club that works really, really hard. People on the ground are just, there's great work goes on behind the scenes, and look, they're a really good club and well structured.
Yeah, so just take a look. We didn't ask Pat to predict on his own game. Paul, are you going to line the fence here, or are you going to show a prediction?
No, I won't line the fence. I think Turles will win.
Fairly resolute there.
My neighbours will be happy, but I actually think Turles, like, are just going to shade it. Turles Sars.
So 2 votes for Sars there. So don't be apology at all.
Oh, sorry, Pat. I paid you enough to say that. So.
That's what makes a good debate. Looking ahead to the B-play final now, Kappa White, they're awaiting the winners of Care and Commercials, and that's going to be played on Tuesday evening. So, Pat, what do you think?
Again, like that, like Johnny Ryan, who's over Kappa White. Johnny, like, kind of, as again, Trojan work done up there in Kappa. I do like Kappa White. I think they play a nice blend of football. Like the Heffron cousins are involved. Danielle Ryan, Sinead O'Brien, good, strong, quality player also. They had a very good win in their semi-final, actually, over Sheepnamon. Again, they've been coming up to the ranks, and Johnny, a couple of years ago, when they successful at under 14s, you could see what he was breeding on, and he was bringing on these younger girls. And he's done. I actually, whoever will come out on the other side with Cairn Commercials, I think they're going to have a good battle on their hands with Kappa.
Paul?
Yeah, the Cairn Commercials game, I'm looking forward to it Tuesday night, because on a team that plays it Tuesday night, they're going to go into that little bit more hungrier against Kappa White. Kappa White are after having their nearly 2 weeks of a break now. Cairn Commercials are going to play Tuesday night. They haven't had a break. That's going to be a tough game, so I'm sure they're going to come out that a bit stronger. I know Pat Capawise maybe might be a little bit stronger, but I think Kieran are a club that are rich in ladies football. Commercials are rich in ladies football for years. I think whoever comes out of that game will give Capawise a serious game now. Serious game.
And that semi-final between Care and Commercials, are you going to give us a winner of?
Care.
So, Care to win the B play for you.
Yeah.
And Pat.
I'm with Kappa.
Is on the Kappa side. So.
I'd like to wish all the girls taking part in the under-16 county final this weekend, especially my own club, Kappa White, the very best luck.
In the B final on Sunday at 12:30 in Newin, my Rovers take on Galtee. My Rovers have beaten Mine Temple 2 in Newin in the semi-final, and Galtee Rovers getting over Ardfinnan in their semi-final by a point. So, promised to be a great game. We got the views there of Noel O'Brien and Brendan Franklin.
Brendan Franklin, my Rovers. Big game of football coming ahead now.
Yes, Tomás, I suppose, look at it, it's where everybody wants to be, really, playing finals, and we've been fortunate enough over the last few years there. These girls have been involved in a number of finals, and we're hoping that maybe Sunday week we come out on top.
Yeah, like he played in the first round and it was a humdinger of a game, and early morning throwing that morning down in Monroe, and could have went any other way. They managed to sneak it in the last couple of minutes, but I suppose I seen you talking to the players after it, and you give them a good talking to, but they showed some great character to come back and make a county final.
Yeah, I'd say, Tomás, to be honest now, over the last couple of months we've gradually improved, weekly, and that was our first game of the championship against Galtee, and we were unfortunate, I suppose, the last couple of minutes there we just conceded a goal, and that was a deciding factor, but we've improved greatly in the last couple of months, and we expect to have things differently hopefully maybe on Sunday week.
Yeah, and like a lot of these that were involved in the under-21s that won a league final a few weeks ago, that'll just show the faith that they have in some of these younger players to bring them up to under-21 level, and they weren't only making up numbers, they were the mainstays of the team, really.
Yeah, there's no doubt, Tomás, but the same, over the last 6 or 8 months, and since we came back after COVID, like, these girls have, they've shown great enthusiasm and commitment, not only to their own personal development, we say, but maybe as a team as well. And definitely, those girls who played in the under-21 final there, like, they'll bring maybe an increased tempo, shall we say, to the game against Galtee.
Yeah, and I suppose looking at your semi-final, you got off to a great start. You let Mine Temple 2 in for a few soft goals. You probably wouldn't have been happy with that, but you showed great spirit then and let down a marker just before half time, and you were more or less in control in the second half. As hard as Mine Temple 2, he tried to come back into it.
Yeah, I suppose look at it, was opposition that we hadn't met before, so it was great to see the girls performing so well, and they kept it going maybe throughout the whole match, which is important when you get to this stage of it. Tomás, there's no easy games, so we were delighted to come out on top against Mine, a very, very strong team, and hopefully we can do the same on Sunday week.
Yeah, well, Brendan, we wish you the best of luck, and we'll be talking to you after the game.
Lovely, thanks, Tomás.
Hi everyone, Declan Brown here. Just like to wish all the under-16 ladies teams the very best of luck in their upcoming county finals, and a big shout out to my own club, Mile Rovers, who play Galtee Rovers in their final. And you can tune into CK streaming to watch all these matches.
Noel O'Brien, Galtee Rovers, what's the mood like ahead of the game?
Great mood in the camp now. Training the other night now, every girl training, so girls are confident, they're working hard inside and training, and confident going into the game. We know what we're up against. Mile Rovers, really good, strong team, good ball carriers, good shooting forwards. So we know we've a good hard game on our hands, but the girls are up for it, like so.
Yeah, you played them in the first round and you barely got home from it. It was a real humdinger that Saturday morning in Monroe.
Yeah, good game, excellent game for the first game of the year. Game that was up and down the pitch to and fro for the whole game, like there wasn't anything between us. I think it only finished a 2-point win for ourselves, a kick of a ball at the end of the game. So we're expecting much the same again next Sunday. So the girls are up for it. Like, we've seen them playing a couple of times this year now with through the CK streaming and stuff like that. So we're expecting a real good game again. That mightn't be much between the teams again at the end of it.
Yeah, and obviously Mile Rovers, they've showed their quality the way they were able to regroup after that first round defeat to make the final.
Yeah, they played really good football. See that last weekend when they played Mine Temple Tewey there. Girls are well able to scored 5-10 in the semi-final. Like, it's no mean feat. Like, they've really good forwards going forward, but their midfield and their centre back line as well are really, really strong football players. Good footballing team throughout, but we've much the same as well. We've really good, strong players as well. So we're looking forward to going up against them.
Yeah, and I suppose looking at your semi-final, coming up to half-time, you ended up going in 5 points ahead, and Ardfinnan had a good start in the second half, but you managed to get back on top, and it seemed like that you were going to pull away, but Ardfinnan, they definitely came back into it, and you scraped a 1-point victory. You won't want to be resting on your laurels at any stage of the final.
I suppose not, but I think it shows character of our team as well, that to hold out and get that 1-point win, they work really hard, play some really good football in the first half, which shows our attacking quality and our defending quality in the second half. Then we held Ardfinnan out. Ardfinnan, no small team, like, we've met them a few times over the years. There's never been much between either team at the end of the game, so we were happy to come away with the 1-point win at the end of it. Like, so really, really tough game, but it shows the character that our own girls have, that they can pull it out of the bag when it has to be done. Like, work hard wins a lot of games. Like.
Yeah, 2 great teams in the final. Noel, wish you the best of luck, and we'll be talking to you after the game.
Thanks very much, Tomás.
This is Edith Carroll from the Tipperary ladies football team. Just wanted to wish all the girls involved in the under-16 county finals on the weekend of the 2nd and the 3rd of October the very, very best of luck. Special word of luck to Galtee Rovers girls. Hope you do it on the day. On the Galties.
So that's the views from the 2 camps. Pat, Mile Rovers Galtee, seen the 2 in the semi-finals.
Yeah. What can you say? Like, they both had a lot of positives, we say, after the semi-final. Rovers had a good win over Mile Rovers had a good win over Mine. Galtee Rovers had a good win over Ardfinnan, battled back well. It was a game that ebbed and flowed. Look, as you said, both camps will be really, really well prepared. Mile Rovers, strong girls in the middle, like, kind of when you look at AD McCormick, Ellie Franklin, and their captain there, Hazel Brennan, super. Up front, you cover the game. You have Eva Wall, Eva Dolan, girls more than capable of getting on the scores. And then on the other side, Noel O'Brien, super work over in Galtee being done. Then, like, we have the county players, the Niamh Hayes, the Grace O'Shea, Caitlin Underwear. There's a midfield, then you have Anna and Molly, super. And up front, you have the likes of Anna and Jenny Phelan, Jenny Ryan. So they both offer massive like potential on both sides. So it's a game that could go either way, to be honest with you, Tomás.
Yeah, Paul, just looking like Mile Rovers, they got off to a great start in the semi-final. They let Mine Temple Tewey back into it, but the 5 or 6 minutes before half time, they hit Mine Temple Tewey for 3 goals. They ended up, I think they were 5-3 to 3-3 ahead at half time. But the forwards that they do have, like Pat has mentioned, and the Eva Walls, the Eva Dolans, they've some serious talent, and even their half back line, like Mia Cahalan, has been unbelievable.
Fantastic,
all year.
Yeah, some of those girls that you mentioned, Tomás, they're the future of Tipperary football. When you look at this game, Pat's after mentioning 6 or 7 names there, but even if you take some of them names out, there's other girls in that team that are like they're the foundation of any team. Your county girls, as Pat mentioned, are the foundation, but it's what's around them girls that makes a good team. And when you look at Galtee and Mile Rovers, you have talent all over the field. Mile Rovers against Temple Tewey, fine, they had the easier semi-final. But Galtee against Ardfinnan, the way Galtee came back and fought to the end and got that point win, it has to be admired. It has to be admired what Galtee after doing that game. Mile Rovers probably have a little bit more football in them, but the determination of Galtee Rovers that day was just exceptional to watch. And as I say, to do what they done against Ardfinnan and come back was exceptional, Thomas.
Yeah, looking at my Rovers, looking at their semi-final against Mine Tamatouti, like they had a game plan. They took Everine completely out of the game, and Helen Clear, they nullified her as best as they could. But if you look at my Rovers backroom team, like you have Jim McCormick and Brendan Franklin, Gillian O'Brien, a multiple All-Ireland winner, and Sinead Heffernan, who would be with you. Like,
Absolutely super.
They've a great backroom team there to lay foundations.
Absolutely. And as Paul even has alluded to, like that, two great football insights here. I like the work like that they do put in and the structure of the game plans. As not only is it going to be on the field, but tactically between both sides, both management camps, this is going to be an absolute cracking game. Like early on when they met there in July, I believe you covered the game as well. It's most like Galtee shaded at, I think there's only 2 or 3 points in it that day.
Went down to the wire, yeah.
Yeah, so that like that's what we're up against. I'm going up against teams that will have their homework done. Do I go man marking? How will I nullify? Will I go forward? Will I drop one? Like it's going to be mad. It's going to be on the line where a lot of thought is going to have to be put in because there's some exceptional players on both sides. And as you said, like the way my Rovers try to nullify Ava and Helen, like in mind today, do they try to do much the same? Because Galtee are absolutely strong girls. We have strong runners, great carriages of the ball, and they play a lovely style of football. It's fast flowing football they play like so. My God, this game is really there for the thing.
But as you said, Pat, my Rovers are a team. They're a running team. If you know what I mean, they like to be on the front foot all the time. And when you have a player like Hazel Brennan that will run from one end of the field to the other for you, it's a bonus. So my Rovers, I'm looking at them all the time. They just want everything is moving fast. So if Galtee can stop that, they have a good chance. But my Rovers, it's always a running game with my Rovers. Even down through the years, it's always been through the hands. And you get it from A to B as quick as possible. Galtee are just going to have to be alert to that. And I'm sure they have good management with Noel and down there. They'll have seen that you stop it in the forwards and then move forward, you know.
But Paul, even like as you were even saying like earlier, the semi-final, the CK streamed like kind of for us against Arfinnan. You see the battling qualities out of Galtee that day. Like the game, like kind of was at one stage they were in control. Then it looked like Arfinnan were getting on top. The goal changed the game, and Arfinnan came down and kind of scored and knocked over a point, and it was down to the minimum. Like the whole time, so it ebbed and flowed, but like they just grind it out. Like that's the way they are. There's a never say die attitude, which is tremendous.
Yeah.
And like that's what's going to serve us up to most. I think it's going to be a massive battle. Like the individual battles, like when they lay out in the field that day, when you do like kind of the 1-on-1s, you're going to see massive battles out there.
Looking at the semi-final, Galtee, like Caitlin at the wire about 7 or 8 minutes before half time, she was sin binned.
Yeah.
And it looked like Ardfinnan were going to get on top. And Galtee actually came back and hit. There was a point in it. They were a point up. They came back. They kicked the next 4 points. They were within 5 points up at half time. And now Ardfinnan, they were on top for the first 7 or 8 minutes of the second half. And they kicked 1-1, but they kicked 5 or 6 bad wides as well.
Absolutely.
But Galtee looked in trouble. But they just grounded out, and then they got back on top again. And even when Ardfinnan came back, now they might have got complacent in the last 10 minutes of the game when Ardfinnan came back, but they could have easily been caught. I'd say Ardfinnan could be kicking themselves as well that they're not playing in this match on Sunday.
It's probably true to most. Like kind of looking at that, like kind of there was very scoreable chances near the end, and like. They got more difficult scores. There were some great scores had. It probably will have looked, if I'm honest, I'd say, were we a bit misfortunate not to be there? But like this is what this championship has thrown up for us. These games have gone out of the way, but as you said, Galtee never at any stage. There was never the panic stations. Like they kept playing their football. They knew what they're about. Like they kept the structure. They kept going at them, and even as you said, when they're down to 14 for like the 10 minutes. There was no panic, like, and they kept it, and they actually outscored even during that period. Like, so I'm just saying, there was always room to attack. But I'll tell you, I say at the final whistle, I'm sure Galtee were more than happy to get away with that. Like I said, it could have gone anyway. It could have easily been Ardfinnan, but like Galtee Rovers, that's what they'll do. They'll just grind out their results. But like that's true, a well organised side.
That's it on Galtee. When they did go down to 14 girls, it looked as if it lifted them.
Yeah.
That they said to themselves, we have to battle, we have to grind, we have to do what has to be done here to win this match. And that's what they done. And that's the makings of any good team.
Absolutely.
That you know when you're under the cosh, you have to battle. And those girls that day battled.
Absolutely.
Yeah, just looking at the Galtee team that played in the semi-final, like obviously Jenny Ryan was the main scorer,
Yes.
Anna Phelan, Maeve O'Callaghan, Annie Keenan, Molly Crowe. Like these are probably the players that are well known and are some of the better known players. But two of the players that actually impressed me in it, like Kiva Bailey Maloney at cornerback, and she came out with a lot of ball. But Grace Hayes was up and down the field all day long as well. Yeah. She kicked the point, she broke up play, and she came forward. Now, the way Galtee play and the way my Rovers play, it's going to be a battle around the middle of the field. Like
absolutely.
Galtee look very impressive in their half forward line. Like their forward line, the half forward line that started last day, you had Anna Phelan, Maeve O'Callaghan, and Jessie Nugent. Like they're up against the likes of Ellie Franklin and Mia Cahalane and that. And it could be that battle that actually wins the game. Like when my Rovers were in a bit of trouble at one stage, they'd bring Ava Dolan out around the middle of the field. Now, I personally would play her inside the full forward line. When she gets the ball, she does damage. And I've been impressed with her since the first game we done this year was actually my Rovers and Arravale, and I was very impressed with her. Like she can kick left and right, but she's also taking frees and she's kicking them off the ground. There's something special about seeing a ball kicked off the ground. Like,
it's fantastic to see. Fantastic to see. But you're right, Thomas. I myself think this game is going to be won in maybe the second third, around the middle of the field. Whoever gets on top in the middle of the field will, because I think they both have forwards that would hurt any team. So if you can get control in the middle of the field and keep possession of that ball around the middle of the field and move it forward, which, as I said there a while ago, that's my Rovers' game. Move that ball quick. So if Galtee Rovers can counteract that and stop it around the middle of the field, back to the end, it has the makings of a cracking game. This cracking game.
And even my Rovers keeper Rebecca Hutchinson-Dennehy, of course, Lisa Peters.
Yes.
But like she's only out of under 14. And she's their senior keeper, like so. That's some faith that they're showing in somebody so young. Like she's going to play a vital role. We've seen a stage as a Galtee semi-final. The way they try and push up in the kick-out. So her kick-outs are going to be vital in this game.
Absolutely. But I like it. That's what I'm saying. We spoke about the Galtee half forward line and the Mile Rovers half back line. Like that's going to be a key area, as you said. When you put this down on paper, when you do the one-on-ones, this is absolutely like there's some individual battles here, and it's just who has that little bit of that little. Just it's only a small edge, but just who's going to win that? Because you said those kickouts, because Galtee do press you, and then I said like, is that a lot of pressure for a young girl to take on? She's more capable. She's been really good. You've seen her throughout the championship. Like that's what my Rovers will need to bring. They'll need to get that ball out, as Paul's even said, like their forward line, both sets of forwards, lads, they're clinical in front of goal. You said you've seen like in the game against Mine Tipperary, like chances fell like with Eva Wall and Eva Dolan, and they'll punish you, and they will punish you. Like and then like you have Hazel Brennan. She's a super girl, engine that'll run up and down, like, but they've got to be winning these kickouts and getting that ball like in around the middle of the field. Like there's massive battles to be had, like because both sets of midfielders are very, very strong girls. Like so, it's most. Oh look, it's a massive game for you to be covering, but I'm just saying it's going to be one hell of a cracking game, absolutely cracking game.
And it could come down to the two sidelines. We've seen both teams with strong benches, so it could come down to who's brought in.
It could. As we've always said, and myself and Pat are always on the same wavelength with this, is like you have 15 girls starting it, but when you look behind you and you can see 5 or 6 girls or maybe even more that can come on and make a difference, that's a team. A team is not 15 anymore, it is 20, 25 girls, management team. But this comes down to management as well. I know I'm not putting pressure on the management here, but this comes down to management to make the right decisions as well, and they have to be seeing what's going on the field, where they're losing possession, where they're not losing possession. who's playing well, who's not playing well. But both benches in these two teams, it'll be very important. It'll be vital on the day, I think. Vital on the day.
And I suppose the next thing is, Pat, who are we going to call him for?
Well, I take the easy way and say our Rovers win. Is that sitting on the fence?
Slightly, yeah.
No, look, listen, I'm going to say Mile Rovers. I'm going to say Mile Rovers, Tomás. Absolute, just mildly, just thinking on the head-to-heads, they might just edge it this time.
Paul?
I'm going to go Galty.
Split decision.
There we go.
But we're still friends, Pat, all right?
Absolutely.
We're still friends. For another few minutes anyway. We have to go to the A yet then.
Yes.
We've a split decision there. Pat going with Mile Rovers and Paul taking Galty. But it's going to be a cracking game. It's live with us at 12:30 on Sunday afternoon in New Inn. So make sure to tune in for that one.
Just want to wish all the girls competing in the under 16 county finals the best of luck on Sunday, especially to my club and my niece, Mile Rovers. Best of luck, girls.
Looking ahead now to 5:30 in New Inn on Saturday evening, and Templemore will be taking on Holy Cross Ballycatton in the A plate final. Pat, the two of these played in the first round game we covered, and Holy Cross managed to nip it by 3 or 4 points. Two very well matched teams. Templemore probably would be thinking they could have easily been in a cup final with. They were trying to kill time, I think, against Feather, and they got caught. Feather done them with a goal in the last minute. So
absolutely. Again, you're dealing with two massive footballing sides. The game that you covered earlier on the year, I said not a whole lot in it either. Both sides are going to come in with great expectations. Like. I look at like the Holy Cross Ballycal side, and you look at like the Carr sisters, like Grace Patrick Ryan, Sarah Bells. Like I'm just saying, this is a team that will obviously like kind of Declan over them with Pat and that, and like they will be well structured. Like we see some of these girls playing like kind of like with some of the adult teams and stepping up with the under 19s and that. This is going to be down to be a cracking game. You take away the first game that happened in the championship, as you said, Tomás, like kind of Templemore probably felt they could have been even contesting even nearly an A final. Like so, like this will tell you what both these teams and the progress even that Holy Cross have made in the last number of years. It's magnificent. Like they're back up here competing in the A grade. This is fantastic for them. And again, this is a game that could serve up anything. I just think we're in for a right ding dong battle here again, Tomás.
Yeah, and I suppose, Paul, Templemore won an under-21 title there a few weeks back, beating Galty in extra time. And of course, Holy Cross made that magnificent comeback in their final against Silvermines. Now, a lot of the players involved there, like the likes of Grace Patrick Ryan, like she made a huge difference in that under-16, and Kate Carr for with the under-21, and the likes of these coming up, and then on the other side you've Sean McBride, Tara Horde, the likes of these. This is going to be a ding-dong battle.
Thomas, as you said, anywhere you look in this field, there's just talent all over the place. On both sets of teams, it's like on Holy Cross, as I say, myself and Pat and Templemore, we know a lot of them from the county team this year, but the matches this year, or the matchups in this final are going to be crucial, absolutely crucial. You have Grace Fitz on one side, Sean McBride on the other side, you have Tara Horde one side, you have Kate Carr on the other side. Templemore are a team that's on the crest of a wave after the moment. They seem to be winning. They won the under 21, I think, didn't they? They won the
Division 1 play.
Division 1 play.
This is their third final.
This is their third final, so they're a club that's doing fantastic work down there. Damien Johnson is their chairperson down there, and the work he's doing is fantastic. So since he came in there as chairperson. On the other side, you have Holy Cross Declan Carr, who loves ladies football. He breeds ladies football down in Holy Cross. He brought it to where it is now at the moment. But some of these players, and back to as we say, are going to Galty and Mile Rovers, but back to Holy Cross and Tipperary, some of these players are going to be on show that day. It's a pleasure that you're going to be streaming, that people are going to be able to see it and witness it, because I think this could actually be your actual your cup final. It's that good.
Yeah.
It's that good of a game. They were just unlucky in certain places or certain results, but this could actually be your cup final. It's that good of a game. With the players on show, the players turn up, Thomas, you're in for one cracking game that day. One cracking game.
Yeah, so what's the beauty about the A competition? Any one of the 6 could actually have ended up in the final.
Yeah, absolutely. Like as we've all alluded to, like just saying, championship this year has been absolutely fantastic. Like I spoke to a few people today on the earlier part of the day when the managers were over there. And you know let's give credit, like this has been a wonderful championship. The grading's been super. Like we've been served some massive games this year. You've been honest, God bless, to be at many of the games. And by God, they've been cracking games. They've been cracking games. Like you said, we look back at any of them. There's semi-finals, there's quarter-finals. They could be finals. They were absolutely, they were played at such a level, and like it's great to see, like kind of. But the standard in Tip, we're lucky that like we're coming up notches the whole time, and like these young girls are aspiring like to our senior team. Like it's magnificent. It's magnificent for the game, and like as Paul said, like with all the clubs around, there's tremendous work being done, and as you said, Tomas, it could be any team. Like the final, you could go back again 2 weeks and you get a different result. This is how close these games can be.
Because as Pat said there, Thomas, and he's going on with work being done, the fixtures committee, like when they've done these gradings for these competitions,
super.
They deserve every credit that they could get. Like when you see the matchups that you have in all these finals, the fixtures committee this year have done an excellent job. So they're absolutely super. Excellent. When you see who's in these finals, the whole way down along, the fixtures committee have been exceptional for what they've done this year. So just a special word of mention to them, that well done to them.
Yeah, and just come back to the game there itself, like Holy Cross are a relatively new club, I think less than 10 years in existence. And for them to add an under 16 to their under 21 would be huge. Like that. I myself now, I'm going to sit in the fence. I'm just for luck, it's Jeeves calling them, because like Holy Cross, like you have Kate Carr and Grace Fitzpatrick Ryan, who were probably the 2 mainstays on the under-21 team. Like,
yes.
That day in New Inn. And Izzy Carr, who's under 14, but
super young player.
She was probably one of Tip's best players in the under 14.
Really
like Ed Burke was graced with some of the players he had with
absolutely.
The Tip under 14s. Like Tip won a B. They could have easily won an A.
Absolutely.
That's the
small margins.
So, and on the Templemore side, as you say, like this, the lads that are involved with him now, Matty Kennedy and Fergal McDonald, and but like Fergal comes from a family that have bred ladies football, or Olive is the president. Should we all remember Enda?
God rest Enda, yeah.
And a great man for ladies football. Well,
super.
This game, I don't know where it's going to be won. Like so,
it's really hard.
Who wants to take up the mantle?
Well, I'm gonna put my neck in line. I'm going to say a Holy Cross Ballycal win.
And I'm going to go against him, and I'm going to say a Templemore win. For the simple reason, or do I even have a simple reason? For the simple reason is I'm taking into account the county players, as you said, in the Holy Cross, Patrick Grace, yes. The Kate Carrs, and the same way on Templemore. I just think Templemore have a more taken away from the county players. I just think they have more of a presence on the field in Holy Cross, other than the Grace Fitzes, the Kate Carrs. Now I could be very wrong, but this is another game where it's a feast of football, Pat.
Paul, it's going to be really hard. It's going to be a really close call again. As you said, it's just going to be the small margins, like kind of who can gain that slight advantage, and it may be like as even Tomás has just said, like it's these players, like he's covered these games, and like there's players that we haven't even mentioned here, like but these players just turn up another notch, getting that little minimum advantage, and it's all it's going to take to swing it. But again, it's a game anyone could call.
And we're taking into account in New Inn, it's a big wide pitch as well, and both of these teams, and going back to what I was saying about my Rovers, they're running teams. They run the ball and run the ball. So every inch of that field is going to be used. So it's whichever team is able to stick it out for the 60 minutes and maybe longer, who knows. And even the benches on these two teams I'm not sure whether the benches are as strong as we think they are. So maybe the 15 on the field might have to step up and put in a fair shift of football that day. I'm not too sure about their benches now. Pat, I don't know what
Yes, no, likewise. Well, I'll tell you one thing, but listen, we will agree.
I'm looking forward to it.
Absolutely.
It was a great game when they played in the first round in Templemore, and Holy Cross managed to sneak it, but then a bit of a running game then as well. Like, so it can go anywhere, but like I've been impressed by both teams all year, and as I said, the fact that they're stepping up, a lot of them stepping up to under 21 level, and I'd still go back to Holy Cross. I know the Templemores won't be happy with me. I'm neighbours, but sure. There's a few Clonakennys on the Templemore team, and I know Orla Tracy captained the team in that as well. But like Holy Cross, that day they played Silvermines, they were 4-7 or they were 4-6 to 2 points down after 12 minutes of the under 21 final.
That's fantastic.
And the easy thing was to throw in the towel, and I think it was 12-14 minutes, and the next time Silvermine scored again, it was to make it 4-7 to 3-10. Holy Cross had scored 3-8 without reply, and it was the under 16 girls that really stood up that day, and they have a running game that they use, and they seem to be using it at all age groups now. And I don't know. I'm going to come off the fence. I'm going to go Holy Cross as well. It's the only match I've predicted so far.
So I'm the only one going for Templemore. That's really what you're saying.
Yeah.
Even though you're neighbours with him, and
okay, there's a few Clonakennys involved, and
that's fine.
On behalf to Damien Johnson and that, now I'm sorry, but look, these things happen. So
I was born and reared in Tipperary, so I'll always stick with the Templemore. So.
Excellent.
That's that sorted. And Templemore Holy Cross, and it looks like the players could be going to Holy Cross, but God only knows. So
exactly.
Thank God we have floodlights in New Inn, because this could go the distance.
Absolutely. Good.
Hi there, it's Ivani Cullen here from RTE Sport, and I just want to wish all the girls involved in the Under-16 finals in Tipperary the very best of luck this weekend. If you can't get along to the matches, don't forget they are being streamed by CK Streaming, so there's absolutely no excuse not to watch one of the matches at the very least this weekend. But most importantly, I want to wish the players the best of luck. Have a ball, enjoy yourselves, and play out of your skins.
Moving on to the showpiece final now, the Under-16 A Specsavers Championship. Moycarkey, Boris and Boherland Douala, and we spoke to Ray Ralph and Richie Ryan, and this is what they had to say. Richie Ryan, Boherland Douala, what's the feeling like ahead of the game?
I suppose, look, we're trying to prepare now as well as we can. We've between the semi-final and the final, we're going to have 4 sessions and try and just get the girls as best prepared as we can. And we know we're going to face an absolutely savage Moycarkey side. I've seen them a couple of times this year, and I know how talented they are. And they're well balanced. They have a strong 15, and even girls coming off the bench that are talented. So we know what's ahead of us. So we just have to be at the best on our day and on the day and see where that takes us.
Yeah, was it hard to bring them back down to earth after the victory? Like,
I think anybody who watched
how dramatic it was.
Yeah, I think anybody who watched the game against Feather saw the jumping around at the final whistle, and you don't want them thinking that they've won it, and they haven't. So look, we obviously got them grounded straight away. We spoke to them, and I think even Mike and over Feathers kind of said to them, look, they haven't won it yet, and that's what I said to them as well. We haven't won it yet, and we know we're under no illusions what faces us in the final. So it's just about getting the group of players, not just the 15 or 20 or whatever. We've kind of carrying 27, 28 for the year. So getting all those together and pushing for places for the final. We haven't had a 15 for any game go out twice in a row. We've changed it every game, so I'm sure that will be the same potentially for the final. So yeah,
and I suppose they're talking about Morris Fitzgerald's line ball in Thurles for the last 20 years. Anna Murphy's free from the touchline the day of the semi-final to win it. Super score.
Yeah, incredible score. Anna's capable of that. She's a seriously talented player. And I think anybody who watched it, anybody who was at it, will know how difficult the free it was. But look, I suppose Anna's on the freeze, or Emer Dewan could be on the freeze on other sides as well. So we just backed them, and to be honest, I think she might have had another 10 yards on it. She kicked it so well, but on another day she might be unlucky. She might drop a short or drop a wide. We were just blessed that it went over the bar, because we were facing extra time only for it.
Yeah, looking at McCarthy, like they're a real dogged team. Like, no matter whether it's ladies football, any sport at all. We've seen that in the semi-final. They were 1-5 to a point down after 10 minutes, but they stayed at it, and they eventually got the rewards late in the game, deep in injury time. So they're going to be hard beat.
McCarthy are a serious side. Like, as I said, I've seen them a couple of times, even starting from their goalie, excellent. You know, their back line, they're two serious midfielders. And obviously, like, they've talent in the forward as well. We saw Ciara's goal in the semi-final. We know what she's capable of. But they're a balanced 15, as I said earlier. And like I said, we're going to have to really be at it if we're going to have any chance in the final. And yeah, like you said, they came back from, and I don't think they led until like the last maybe 2 minutes of that match against Darville. So that shows what spirit they have on their side. I think both sides, like, what were we down 9 points as well. So both sides have really come back from the debt in both semi-finals. So both sides have got serious spirit in them. So hopefully we'll have a cracker of a final.
Yeah, as you said, hopefully we will. If the final is half as good as what the two semi-finals are, we're in for a great game of football. Richie, the best of luck, and we'll talk to you after the game.
Thanks very much, Tomás. Appreciate it.
Ralph, McCarthy Boris, first thing is, how'd you bring the girls back down after that cracking semi-final against Darville?
No bother. There was a good win, a good dug it out at the end, and yeah, no bother. Well focused now for the final. We're training again last night. Yeah, all ready to rock and roll.
And how's Ciara Shelley taking her newfound fame? I see her goal has gone viral at this stage.
The swelling has gone down a bit now, so she was flying at that training last night, to be fair to Ciara, yeah. Ciara, don't mind. Good girl, good player.
Yeah.
Great goal.
Yeah, we were just talking there earlier on, and I suppose looking at that semi-final, you were 1-5 to a point down after 10 minutes. The easy thing was to throw in the towel, but probably a real typical McCarthy Boris. No matter what you play him in, you're not beaten until you're at home lying down in bed that night. Like, he stuck in, and you only hit the front in the 63rd minute.
The ethos of that team and the team under it is, if we're in the shake-up with 3 minutes to go, we'll get over the line. Never give up. We'll keep going. And great girls, great belief in one another, work well as a team, and to dig in. I say it's very hard to buy. You can't buy that. So if you want to put them away, but don't let them hanging around near the end. You're in trouble.
Yeah, because just looking at the thing, like Lucy Callanan, she scored 2 great goals in the semi-final, and as well, and Sarah Corcoran stayed digging, and we just got a feeling in the commentary that evening as well that you were holding on, but if you got 1 goal chance, and that's the way it ended up. And like, as I said, this you obviously have that work ethos to never give up, and that's what proved. And the final is obviously going to be another titanic battle.
Yeah, well, like, we're in a final. We're delighted to be in it. You have to take into consideration we are a standalone club. We're joined with nobody, do you know? So we're going into the final. A few clubs making up. There's a kind of a combo team, you know. They're under the one parish name, but as far as we're concerned, it's a bonus for us to be in that final. But we're a standalone parish. If we're in there with time to go, we're going to give it our best shot. That's it.
And just looking at your step watching that their last in the semi-final, I'd say there was a few thousand on it, because when Ciara got that goal, we looked at it back. You actually started at the 14 yard at your own, and I think you were up as far as the 21 at the other end of the field. So no doubt you'll be doing a lot of pacing on Sunday as well.
Well, sure, look, I could do a lot of pacing. I could nearly turn it into a jog at this stage. But yeah, up and down the line, sure, keep encouraging the girls, keep it all positive. And sure, it's some buzz, you know what I mean? It's some buzz just to be with them girls. But yeah, up and down the line, why not, sure?
Yeah, and county final success will be a huge thing for McCarthy, because you are building a very strong club over there.
Yeah, it was a strong girls' club. Yeah, it's a lot of work going on, like, you know, a lot of people doing a lot of hard work, and they're all there. It's very good. But as to answer your question, yeah, the double is on. Yeah, the double is on as far as we're concerned. We'll give it our best shot, and that's all we can do.
Yeah, because we've seen you talking to the girls after the semi-final, and
like it was one of the things you did say. You said this, there is a double arm, but you still had a great win in that semi-final, but there was no cup handed out that night, so you obviously had to bring them back down to earth. And in fairness to you, you did bring them back straight away, and we could tell by the way you were talking, you were thinking of a final straight away.
Yeah, well, but the final isn't going to be simple. Like that, you interviewed the Borland man there a while ago, and the players were there, and some of them, like, they're a good team. They're a very good team. They won it last year. They're trying to retain their title, so we'll see what we can do.
I suppose if you throw everything at it, like if we get half as good as a final as what we got for the two semi-finals, we're in for a cracker of a game.
That's what you want, yeah. Good game, hopefully now, you know.
And obviously, it's encouraging people then to take up the game as well, because we've seen it there this year. A lot of the clubs are saying that they're improving in numbers.
It is, but it's probably a fast-growing game. A lot of girls playing GA, which is good, ladies football in particular. Camogie is probably harder to coach. It wouldn't have as big a following, but it's getting up there. It's coming up there. But no, it's just great to see the girls playing it. And there's bigger crowds coming to see them now. There's COVID being lifted, you know. It's great. It's great.
Yeah, well, Ray, look, we wish you the best of luck, and we'll be talking to you after the game.
Surely will. Hopefully we'll win it.
Hi, Al MacDonald, President of Tipperary Ladies Football. I want to wish the best of luck to the other 16 teams that are taking part in the county-finals at the weekend. If you can't get to the finals, you can watch them on CK streaming. The best of luck to everybody involved.
So that's the view of the management. And Pat, McCarthy Boris Board and Duella, as we've said there to the management, if we get half as good a final as what we got in the two semi-finals, we're in for a cracking game of football.
My God, Tomás. They served up probably two of the best semi-finals we're going to see in a long, long time. You were lucky enough there to cover both of them. Borland Duella against Feather. What can you say? Absolutely a ding-dong battle. A game that Feather had one stage 8 or 9 points clear. Then Borland chipped away, got back in front, and then Wallace scored the end to win the game. Like, I'm just saying, it was like, I know my own daughter was there with you that they commented on it. She nearly jumped out of the seat because, like, it was a massive score to win that. And on the other side, then the Moncarkey Arraville game, again a fantastic game. Arraville leading everywhere just on the last 2 or 3 minutes, and like kind of when Ciara Shelley popped up, as you said, with a wonder goal again. So you've covered 2 wonderful games whereby wonder scores have won both matches.
Yeah, and Paul, just looking at it, as we said to Ray there and Richie, McCarthy, to give it was a typical McCarthy performance. No matter when you see that red and yellow jersey, you don't have them beaten until you're at home and you have the cup locked up, because the easy thing after 10 minutes, they were 1 fight to a point down. The easy thing was to throw in the towel, and as we said in commentary that evening, you just felt that they were just hanging on in there, and if they got one chance, they would take it. And like, what a goal by Ciara Shelley that evening. Like, the thing has gone viral since then. Because it was a quick free. Like, Arraville had a chance to put it over the bar, and the ball was knocked in, and I think it was Ciara O'Hara that was just slightly inside the square, but from the kick being taken to the ball ended up in the net down the other end, I think it was 22 seconds. There was only 4 players touched the ball. And
actually that goal that we're talking about, Ciara Shelley's, if you look back at it again, she was one of the ones that I think started that goal around the middle of the field. She received the pass, and she was the one that carried it.
Sarah Corkin came forward and she lost it. She came under pressure. I think it was Caoimhe Malai Hickey. And she held possession, laid it off to Kate Ralph. And Ralph found Ciara Shelley. Shelley was still 40 yards from goal, if not more. And the way she just angled that ball into the top corner, I went home that evening, like we were saying, the three of us spoke on the sideline after the match, and nobody wanted to leave Littleton that night.
No.
And we were talking, and I was saying to the lads going home in the car, Jesus, I'm wrecked. And we went home, and I was actually so wound up. And I put it on again, and I started editing out things for the show, and it would be using like some of the goals and that. And I just couldn't sleep, and I put it on the following morning, and we uploaded it on their social media. And before we know it, it just gone viral. We had
oh my God.
The likes of Eve Andy Quillen sharing it, Marie Crowe, like the two girls have been very good to Tipperary ladies football this year now. They've supported everything, and in fairness to them, like, they're high profile people, and they shared it, and next minute we see Marty Morrissey sharing it, and some of the top footballers in the country sharing it, and it went viral. Like. And as we said to Ray there, how did she come down? And she says, well, we were quick enough to make sure that the head
brought her down to her to
didn't go down. Like. But in fairness to Ray, he spoke with him that evening after the match. Now, we were there, we were lucky enough to be standing beside him, and as he said, we've the 4 cups there in front of us, like, not one of them was handed out that evening, like, so, and Boherlahan were the same, like, because if you look at Boherlahan, like, looking at the team that started the last day, Mia O'Sullivan was probably unlucky, she was left out, she was put into the starting lineup, and at the last second they brought in Hannah Downey played very well, but O'Sullivan came in, and within 20 seconds her first touch was in the net. So Boherlahan have players there, and even Emma Horgan is a phenomenal centre back. Andrea Cork is in the corner. Like, to have somebody the quality of Andrea Cork playing corner back, and she could play anywhere in the field. Like, there's not too many teams that would have an inter-county star playing corner back. And they obviously have Paula Quirk as well. Like, she done a marking job, and Mia Cullaghy was causing the world of damage for Feather the same evening as she done. I know she was sin-bin near the end, bit of a cynical tackle, and well, Mia got the goal out of it then from the free. But Boherlahan came back, like, and Anna Murphy's point, lads. As we said to Richie Ryan there, like, we obviously uploaded that the following morning as well, but as we said to Richie Ryan, they're talking about Morris Fitzgerald's pint for the last 20 years. It's 20 years this year since he put over that wonder pint
in the stadium,
inside the toilets. And Tommy Carr in his ear whispering sweet nothings and
wishing him best of luck,
but if you look at now, I'm not going to say whether he did say anything, but if you look at Anna Murphy back again, Hammer was standing behind her, and like, it was a typical Morris Fitzgerald, Tommy Carr type situation where Hammer was behind her, and the kick, like the quality of the kick, like, she scored 2-6 that day, but that point should go down as good as what Morris Fitzgerald is. They often talk about Peter Canavan's point that he kicked against Armagh in an All-Ireland semi-final. I remember we were above in the premium. I think we were celebrating Tippett won the Tommy Murphy the same day, so we actually didn't get to see the Peter Canavan for a few days after. They're talking about them two scores. Anna Murphy should go down as one of the greatest scores that's ever been kicked. It's definitely one of the greatest scores that we've seen this year.
Well, just a few things on it, Thomas, is you're saying about Anna Murphy's point was probably one of the best points I've seen this year. And then on the other side of it, Ciara Shelley's goal was one of the best goals I've seen this year. And just a couple of points, like myself and Pat were talking after the McCarthy game. That McCarthy-Arville game had everything that ladies football represented. Everything. It had skill, it had determination, it had tackling, it had scoring, it had a crowd there to witness it for atmosphere. You were there yourself, we were on the sideline. Everybody at that game, Pat, was just, they were on a knife edge. They didn't know what was happening from back to front. The crowd were getting involved. At one stage, Pat, we were even getting involved, and we were neutrals at it. Do you know what I mean? And then on the other hand, you go to the Boherlahan game, it started off, we thought, like, Feathered went 8 or 9 points up at one stage. Borland decided here, we're going to make a fight of this and grind it and grind it and grind it. Then we got to 60 minutes. We thought it was going to be extra time. And then, as you said, and Murphy came up with that score that you're going to go a long, long way to see it. But those two semi-finals, and as semi-7 Pat talked about, and we've been at a lot of games this year, myself and yourself, you would not have got better in any part of this land than those two games. They were just fantastic.
Well, it just goes to show the beauty as well of this competition. This the A competition, especially, like every competition has been quality, but the 6 teams could have easily been in a final, and this game, like, I don't know where to start as regards. If you take a look, Arraville have to be kicking themselves. There's no point saying that anything different, but like Kira O'Hara, probably one of the best young footballers, not only in Tipperary, in the country, and she's definitely one for the future. She kicked 111 that night, but she scored 4 from play. Yeah. She scored a penalty and she kicked 7 unbelievable threes. But still, Caoimhe Fitzgibbon, the full back for Mycarky, she done a fair job on her, like, considering who she was up against. And it's just hard to know. Like Lucy Callan, 2 great goals that evening for Mycarky. Sarah Corcoran, like Aoife Shelley, who was probably one of the main players for the Tipperary under 14s. I was talking to her mother afterwards. Now I know parents are always the hardest on their own players. Yes. And she said, well, Aoife was poor, but still, Aoife got one chance
and took it.
Yeah. And that's a sign of a quality player. So I don't envy lads trying to pick a winner out of this one, because it's going to go to the wire. So
I just suppose, like, kind of like we spoke earlier on even about all these matchups. To even go and look at a matchup in this game, my God, you have to go 1 to 15 and 15 on, because this is going to be, there's no give or take on any side. And knowing both Ray and Richie, like, they will have their homework done right down to the very end. Like, you look at, like, kind of even going from the keepers, like Molly, superb. Queel on the other side, superb. Like, so you're going right from 1 to whatever their pounds are going to stop at 20, 25. This is going to be massive, an absolute massive game. Like, kind of, if it is anything like we were set up in the semi-finals, it could be just one hell of a game. As I said, tactically, how do I go and address it? I don't know, because as I said, the middle of the field, you look like kind of like strong runners with Alicia and the girl Kate Ralph, and then like you look at like Kate Fern come on the other side and Emer Dwan. My God, like kind of talented footballers everywhere. The half back line, the half forward line, the full back line, the full forward line. It could go anyway, Tomás. I'll tell you one thing, and you're going to look at a game. As I said, we spoke about even Mycarky, like Arraville, yes, they could feel a little bit kind of like, did I leave that behind me in the first half? Should I have had a greater advantage? Like, it was the old cliche game of 2 halves, and it's just right up to probably with 4 or 5 minutes to go. But I said, Mycarky grind and got the result in the end. And then, like, it's like with Borland, even as Paul said, when they're 8 or 9 points down, the panic stations didn't kick in. They kept playing away their football, and to overcome anything like that against a Feather side, you had to be playing good. You had to be playing really well, because, like as you said, like Mia Cuddy was on fire that night, like, and all over. Feather looked like they had the ascendancy, but they kept going. Tomás, to call a winner will be a brave decision.
Yeah, because just looking at the Borland team as well in their panel, like Borland are obviously defending champions.
Yes.
Like, their final from last year was played in the middle of the summer this year due to COVID. Last year it wasn't completed. And it's more or less a completely new team. A lot of that Borland team that played last year are obviously gone from this year. But for them to come back and bring such a quality team again, a second year in a row, like, especially losing so many players from last year, like, there's quality all over. I think
It just goes to show the work Richie Ryan is doing out there, isn't it? That he's bringing these players through. He's bringing them from under 12s, under 14s. He's developing them early, which is the right way to do it. And if you lose 3 or 4 players, if you're able to bring 3 or 4 players onto that team, I'm sure, I know they lost a few players, but I'm sure there was a couple of those players last year that would have been 14 or 15, and they're after coming up and getting that bit stronger this year. And he's probably after bringing on another 2 or 3 from the under 14s. So, like the work Richie Ryan and even Ray Ralph is doing out there, like that's a young McCarthy team as well. People don't realise that's a young McCarthy team. They have a couple of girls up to the age, but that's a young McCarthy team as well. Like the work Ray Ralph and Richie are doing out there, you have to give credit to both managements. But even to say, as Pat was saying about the game, Thomas, I spent a good few hours looking at this game last night and looking back over your stream at the matches, and it's so hard to pick a winner at this because, again, I'm going back to it, the players you have on show are just exceptional players.
Really,
exceptional.
Really good.
They're going to be the future of Tipperary's football, and I'll go back to what we do with these players, nurturing them all along and keeping them going the way those 2 clubs are doing with those. This is going to be. It's going to be a cracker of a game again. It's just a feast. I go back to the word. It's going to be a feast of football.
And like we spoke about Mullinholm and Sayers, that these 2 teams could be 2 of the mainstays with senior football in a couple of years. We're probably talking the same with Moycarkey and Boherlan.
Without a doubt. As I said, even speaking to even Richie around today, like even I know not taking away from the under 16s, but even if you look at the intermediate championship, like there's just 4 teams in or wherever, but like again, nothing there. And like some of these girls are going to be close enough in a year or 2 making that step forward. Like, but that's the work that's been done. Like, and I said, like at grassroots in these clubs, and it's a massive like credit. Like none of us really see whatever goes on at these clubs. But I'll tell you, there's obviously massive people behind driving these wheels of these clubs. But like I said, you're looking at these players, like they're dual players. They're playing so many sports right now. But by God, as athletes, they're fantastic. Tomás, like they're putting it in, week out, and this is what ladies football is all about. And this is definitely part of the future. Like next weekend, we're going to see a feast of absolutely superb young footballers, and we're just blessed to have it. And like, it's even for yourself, through like the stream of it, we're lucky that this is, and it's after growing so much. Like even this year, I said we've seen this, but by God, next weekend, a cracking weekend.
Yeah, and just looking at some of the matchups and that, we just spoke off air and we were just talking, like, just take Molly Kilmartin, for example. She scored a point the last day, but the amount of work that she'd got through was unbelievable. Like, they expect forwards to score, like, the winning score actually came from her and Keelan Casey. She was caught for the previous kick out. Mia Cudahy intercepted and went through, and she was obviously taken down. Ball went over the bar, and in fairness to Casey, she didn't panic. The next kick out over to the side, Molly Kilmartin had come deep, and she worked it up, and she got on the ball a couple of times. Anna Murphy got on it. Danielle Ryan was the one that was fouled, but the likes of Kilmartin, now she's going to have a huge say in this as well. And whether it's Claudia Dunphy and McCarthy or who picks her up, I can't see him taking Caitlin Shelley out as centre back. She'll obviously pick up Sophie Mara, but we're only assuming now at the moment because Richie and Ray will have their thinking hats on,
but that's what
they are very good at picking up matchups, but as it says, I think Molly is going to have a huge bearing in this final.
But that's the player, like that's what Molly will give you. Molly just has a massive engine there, and she'll come forward, she'll come deep, she'll go along. Molly will just keep, and her work rate, you can be sure, 60 minutes, 70 minutes, however long that game goes on, Molly just will keep working. And like Richie knows what he's going to give her, and like kind of Dad Ray is involved as well. I'm just saying, they know what Molly will give you. And as a link-up player, Molly's excellent. And she'll pick out that pass. We've seen her even like in the last year or so. Molly will pick up that. A young girl, definitely go in the right direction though.
Yeah, the same girl, like, she has an engine in her that she will just go up and down that field all day. So Molly, as I say, could be defending at one stage, and next thing you look up and she'll be up in the attacking zone, trying to set up goals and this or whatever. That's why I think this final is going to be. It's going to be. Going back to my running game again. Both sets, if we're at both semi-finals, it's going to be non-stop up and down that field. And where I said one of the games will come down to the forwards, I think this game will come down to who's the strongest backs, who's able to defend, who's able to stop the attack. And again, I know you're going to ask us in a minute, Thomas, to predict this one. Oh, I don't know.
But just look at, as we said about the matchups, like we done Boherlahan and Arravale early in the year, and you could see Boherlahan got Emma Horgan to pick up Ciara O'Hora of Arravale that day. She done. But then the last day we had, like as I said, Richie had Andrea Cork and Paula Cork doing, I suppose, I hear a lot of them saying on the sideline, man marking jobs, woman marking jobs we call them, but looking at the two, are the two Corks going to pick up the two Shelleys, or are they going to put one of them out on Rachel Ralph, or is he going to move one of them to midfield to pick up maybe Kate Ralph or Alicia Carney? Lucy Callanan, obviously she wore 7 the last day, but she was wing forward and she was unbelievable. Like,
but even
it's going to be they've a lot of work to do over the next few days. Obviously, lads, the boys know what they're doing. We're not going to doubt them.
Absolutely.
But even McCarthy the last day, I know after being talking to a few of them, they were missing. I think it was 2 girls they were missing. One of the girls, I think, was one of the Johnsons. Like the other name, mistakes or eludes me now. I can't think of it. So there's girls to come back onto that team as well. There was another girl. I can't think of her name at the moment. I know one of the girls was one of the Johnsons. She would have played the first day. Like, there's girls to come back onto that McCarthy team as well, where you mightn't think they would be as strong, but McCarthy could surprise a lot of people in this final.
Yeah, we're in for a humdinger, and I don't know where to start as regards the prediction.
Well, I'll tell you one thing, Tomás, I'm going to be brave, and from the start of the year, I wore the Boherlahan hat, and I'm not going to change now. I just think there's something there, and knowing X amount of the players, and certainly knowing that management team, I'm definitely going to keep up Boherlahan.
And it's going to be controversial this one now. I'm going to go for a draw game and McCarthy to win it in extra time.
No penalties, no.
No
we haven't
penalties.
had a penalty shootout yet so far.
No, I don't think we'll have penalties. I think it's going to be that tight of a game. It'll be a draw game and McCarthy will win.
Boherlahan had fancied themselves in a penalty shootout. Emer Dwan's penalty the last and stuck them in the top corner.
But saying all that, you have 2 fantastic goalkeepers in Queen and Casey and Molly Dwyer.
I wouldn't fancy facing either one of them.
No, they're 2 fantastic keepers. So listen, hopefully it might go to penalties, but I am sitting on the fence and I'm saying a draw and McCarthy to win in extra time.
Pat, you'll be hoping it doesn't go to penalties. You're up next after them, so it'll be hard to keep the girls going if there's a penalty shootout.
Hey, listen.
It's going to be hard to keep your girls, because no doubt they're all going to be in early. Want to see this game as well.
Oh my God! Hey, listen. I think we'll all wait. If this game serves up acting like these teams serves up in the semi-final, I think we'll wait for an hour or two. I'd be prepared to wait for an hour or two. My God, great game.
Television circumstances might want to wait for an hour or two. We'll have to get on to New Inn to put back the Templemore and Holy Cross match. So I don't know. That's if you're definitely going. So 1 Boherlahan and 1 McCarthy.
I'm going McCarthy in extra time.
And Tomás, did we ask you?
I don't really know. Jesus, I don't know. I think McCarthy might sneak it.
Wow.
I just think that they're just a talking team. Like, as I said here at the start when we were talking about this game, their performance in the semi-final, it was a typical McCarthy, like,
battling performance.
You know what you get, no matter whether it's senior hurling or under 6 camogie or under 16 ladies football. It's just McCarthy are never beaten until you're home and that cup is put a padlock on it in the press at home or something where they can't take it off.
Yeah.
I just have a feeling that McCarthy might sneak it. I think that, as we said, Aoife Shelley, she just got the goal the last day, but look, just got a goal. She still got a goal, like, so, which was vital at the end. But I think there's a big game in her. We've seen her in the Munster final of the under-14s. What she can do when she gets quality ball. Like, she was absolutely quality that day in Mallow. She was quality all year for Tip. And I just feel that the two Shelleys inside, if they get the right possession. But then, looking at back, would you isolate the two girls inside and maybe get quick ball into them?
Well, I'll put it this way, Thomas. If McCarthy leave Anna Murphy inside 1-on-1 with any girl inside, there's only going to be one outcome in that. We've seen in the semi-final, you do not leave 1-on-1 with Anna Murphy because she's a big, strong girl. And if she gets that ball into her hand, there's only two things on her mind. It's either you have to bring her down or let her go straight through. And that was proven in the semi-final. So McCarthy, I'm here trying to tell you your business, but if I was McCarthy management, I would not be leaving that girl 1-on-1 inside.
No, what I'm saying is, well, McCarthy leave the two girls isolated, the two Shelleys. Maybe if Amy Slattery is starting in corner forward, would they bring her out around the middle of the field or bring somebody out? Maybe bring her out wing forward, like we've seen the damage to Sarah Corcoran when she moved back. Yeah. Sarah Corcoran kind of played in the free role against Darragh there, and she carried a lot of ball.
A really strong player.
Like, the three of us have made predictions, but we're still debating it. Like, that's the beauty of this game.
But the best thing about
it's the beauty of this game, and it's going to be a hard one.
If we have more questions and answers here, and we're talking for the last 15-20 minutes, we have more questions and answers when it comes to this game.
But isn't it great, lads?
It's fantastic
to see all the numbers as we're seeing from one right up. We are looking at that number one, nothing in it. Number two, number three, all the way down, lads. And even as we said, like kind of we're talking about even a while ago, just about the 2-14s, Ciara Shelley, Anna Murphy, toss, lads. It could be anything. Two superb footballers, as well as the whole panel's like. So, Tomás, you just don't know, it's like kind of who will gain that small little edge, and it's only going to be marginal. But who can get that? And my God, like kind of we say, what's going to happen? Can I get 3 or 4 point lead at some stage? But do I hold it? As you said, playing against McCarthy, if I'm 3 or 4 points up, we saw the last day. It's not over. As you said, that whistle is gone. That cup is in my hand and I'm gone into the car. That's not up because they'll keep coming back. And you said, like, the Ciara Shelley, just one goal that night. But by God, was it a score? Was it a score? You said it went viral. Like, goals like that, like the goals in matches. That was a goal that deserved to win any match. So, like, where's this going to serve us up? We know right down through the field, like half forward line, their midfield, they all can pop up with scores. Tomás, bring plenty of paper.
All I know is it's a tenner to get into all these games over the weekend, and you will not get anywhere in the country that to pay the value for a tenner to get into. We might be able to go to all these matches, but we'll get to see 3 or 4 of them. So a tenner to get into all these matches it's just exceptional. And for to have the sponsor Specsavers sponsoring this tournament, by God, they picked the right tournament to sponsor. It's fantastic.
Yeah, well, as Paul says there, it's a tenner to get into all the games that will cover your ticket. The link is in the description there. So, look, we've a festival of football coming, and I know come Sunday night, well, a few of us will be tired and that now, but we'll no doubt have been well entertained over the weekend. So, look, thanks for Paul and Pat being with us, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel to keep up to date. All the games are live. We've 5 live games, and we'll be reporting from 3 of them as well. So you'll see all the action here with CK Streaming if you can't get to them. But subscribe to the channel, check us out on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and we're also now on TikTok as well. So just to see us there now. I wouldn't know too much about it now myself, but we'll check it out. Thanks for being with us, and we'll talk to you on Saturday in Tiptown.